It's Foreigner Affair. And our hosts, Leo and Macy.
So, welcome everyone to Foreigner Affair episode 2. I'm your host, Leo.
And I'm your co-host, Macy. And we're going to start it out strong today. Once again, we're going to bring weather into it because you know us Minnesotans, we're all about our weather. We're going to start off with Leo's hometown, Tuscany, Italy. It's raining today, so make sure you bring your umbrellas out. 50 degrees Fahrenheit. Again, I don't know my Celsius. As for Erskine, it's 3 degrees out there. So stay warm, bundle up, be safe out on the roads. We have a very special guest with us today, Brady Langemo, aka Mr. Langemo. Welcome to our show, Mr. Langemo.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah.
This is professional, man. You guys are good. I'm excited.
So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh, right. Well, I grew up in McIntosh, so I graduated from WinEMac. I actually was a junior when this building opened. Went to college just down the road at Mayville State. And then I took off and taught on the East Coast in the state of Virginia for 4 years. So it's kind of completely gone. I didn't think I'd ever kind of come back here. Made my way back to Minnesota after I got married. We lived in Austin. And then my father got sick. So we decided to move the family up here and kind of help with him as he was going through Alzheimer's. And luckily I got back into WinEMac and it kind of feels like I never left. So that's me in a nutshell right there.
Okay, so by what you say, we already know that was your plan to come back here at WinEMac?
Not originally. So like when I graduated from Mayville State, which is in North Dakota, I didn't even get my Minnesota teaching license because I wanted to go somewhere else and try something different. Like I used to tell my mom I wanted to teach in Maine and live in a lighthouse. That was going to be adventurous. It didn't happen, but I lived on the East Coast. And then even when we moved back to Minnesota, I actually didn't want to move back to Minnesota. I wanted to move to like Tacoma or Seattle or Houston. And Mrs. Langemo, my wife, her family's from Virginia. So she said, if we're moving close to somebody's family. So we went in southern Minnesota in Austin. And that way we're kind of close to some of my siblings and stuff. So she kind of forced me to come back to Minnesota. Little did she know how cold it was and how bad the snow was going to be.
Yeah, right.
So the joke is on her, I guess. That's how we got back here. I didn't foresee myself coming back. I loved being here. Like Doug Johnson is still here from my days. He was my 6th grade teacher, my track coach. He was my high school history teacher. Ekman, Ms. Salty just retired a couple of years ago. So there's still some people way back from when I was here. So I loved the school. I loved being a Patriot growing up. I just didn't see myself being back in this area, but I'm happy to be here now.
So you have been in this school for many years. So one question that we have for you is, you have seen this school growing in the years. You have been there as a student, now as a teacher. So we would like to know what's your thinking about the school. Like, what do you think is good? What do you think should be improved? What do you think?
I think we have a solid history. I mean, like when we started in 85, 86, 87, when it became WinEMac, we were good at sports right away. Our volleyball teams went to state, football teams were good, and they just kind of built all three of the communities coming together, and everybody had lots of Patriot pride. You know, we had games in McIntosh back in the day, and everybody was kind of happy to be a Patriot. Again, I was young when that happened, but it seemed like it was a seamless transition from a couple separate towns going together that everybody seemed to kind of join in. And then as athletics maybe aren't as state bound all the time, then the people stop coming into the building, right? I mean, no matter how great the students are, I mean, nobody comes into school to watch you get an A in a test.
Right.
Right. So then the hard part is maintaining when your teams aren't state caliber all the time. How do you keep the community loving the school and participating and being involved? And I mean, that's kind of what I want. That's what I want to help do as the AD, to reach out to the alumni and the people in the community and just get everybody involved here, whether it's a sporting event, whether it's a robotics competition we host on a Saturday, choir concerts, anything, just get the community involved, because people aren't knocking down doors to come to rural communities. So I think we have to do a lot to make sure people are invested and supportive of the school.
Right. And for those of you watching who don't know, Mr. Langemo was actually the one who gave Leo and I this idea to do the podcast. So huge thank you and shout out to Mr. Langemo. So
you guys are making it your own night. It's great. So.
Yes. Thank you again for this. Without you, we couldn't have done it. So
I have lots of ideas.
Yeah.
And always about those activities, you are also actually a coach for the basketball team in WinEMac,
I'm your
right?
coach.
Yeah, he's my coach.
Yeah, so I'm the activities director, which means I'm kind of, help schedule all the athletic events and the band choir, the robotics, the one act play, all those type of things. And then, yep, I'm the C team boys basketball coach, along with being a varsity assistant robotics coach as well. And I think that's all my hat. Well, I teach fifth grade. I guess I forgot my first job.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's all the things I do.
So we can say that you love school, but most of all, you love all the activity and the people around the school. We can
Absolutely. Yep. I love being involved in lots of things. I mean, it gets tiresome, like long hours. I don't get to see my kids a lot in the winter. But I think it's for the betterment. I mean, they're going to come through. They're going to be WinEMac Patriots. So if I help build the school up and it's a fun place to be, then my kids are going to benefit in the tail end of that as well. So
Definitely.
I like to be involved as much as I can, as much as my wife will allow me to.
Yeah. Good save.
And 1 second, coming back to what we was talking about before, you said when you was planning for your life to maybe go to Seattle or something like that. We talked about that in the last podcast, and I wanted to say, so you would rather go live in a bigger city, or you kind of like this?
When I wanted to leave, excuse me, and move, I don't know why the East Coast seemed so cool to me because I'd only been there once. My sister went to Duke, so I got to visit Durham, North Carolina as a freshman, and I loved it out there. I didn't necessarily want to go to a big city right away, but once I'd been on the East Coast, it's more populated. It's closer to the big cities than I got to New York City a few times, and I traveled to Seattle with some friends from Fergus Falls Hillcrest. Shout out to any of you private school people. And I just liked the feel of that. So it was something I kind of wanted to experience before I settled down and like had a family where my kids, toddlers and things like that before I found the permanent place to live. I guess I never really knew where I wanted to end up, like as far as raising my family, a big community, a small community. But I think it's good. I want people to come back to this area, obviously, but I think it's good to go experience things too. I mean, if you want to go somewhere because you can always come home, right? And I wasn't ever planning on coming home, and everybody welcomed me back, and here I am, and I love it. I'm glad to be here, but I'm also glad that I left. I'm glad that I tried something, and then I knew what I wanted. So
Good.
I agree.
yeah, don't let your parents blame me.
Yeah, right. Right. Don't blame a mom. Don't.
And what about the job? Was your plan to being a teacher?
I always planned to be a teacher, I guess, since like sophomore, junior year of high school. It's kind of what I wanted to be. I enjoyed some like VBS art teacher stuff. I helped out. My mom was a teacher. No, I did not follow in her footsteps. Sorry, Mom. I didn't grow up wanting to be just like you. But it was always easy to be around kids to help, with elementary basketball when I was in high school and even in college. Nate Johnson and I, he was at BSU, I was at Mayville. We came back, I think, our sophomore year and coached sixth grade basketball here. I don't know. It was easy to get through to kids, I felt like, and it felt good, like watching them succeed. So then I went to college and all my classes that I took kind of reinforced that in me. That's something I want to do. For a minute, I want to be an architect, and I realized I'm not good at it.
Yeah, no, all that school.
So yeah, that's what I want to do.
And what about the grade? Was your plan to be like you would rather change maybe university?
For some reason, I always wanted to be a third grade teacher, and I don't know why. Third grade was one of my favorite years growing up. One of my best friends, Steve Bradley, another shout out to people. We spent every weekend at each other's house the entire school year. So either his house, my house, his house. So a lot of my elementary memories go back to third grade. I mean, I remember some years before that, but that was like the best year. So when I wanted to be a teacher, that's the grade I wanted to teach. When I went to Virginia, there are two schools in the district, and one had a third grade opening, one had a fourth. The school with the fourth grade opening felt like a better fit. So I went there. I taught fourth grade. It was awesome. And then when I came to Minnesota, every job I've had, it's been a fifth grade opening. So, and that's where I am. Okay. My mom used to want me to be a kindergarten teacher, but I don't think I'm cut out for that.
Too young?
Yeah, I don't know I can help kids develop in reading, but teach someone to read from scratch is oof.
Yeah.
So good job to all of the lower grade teachers.
Good job, Miss Cook. Good job.
Absolutely.
So how many years total have you been teaching now?
Oh man. So 17.
Okay.
This is either my 17th or my 18th. It's one of
Oh,
those.
good deal.
And here in WinEMac?
Here at WinEMac, 5.
Okay.
So 4, well, I guess I'm doing that. 4 on the East Coast, 7 in Austin, 2 in Monoman. So whatever we're at there. And then 5 here. So somebody add that up and that'll be my total.
Yeah. Somebody do it now.
Yeah.
So how about, what is one of your favorite memories here at WinEMac?
Oh man. Favorite memories at WinEMac. Basketball. When I was in school, because we were highly successful and we were a small school back then. Like I graduated with 39, which I guess is kind of big at WinEMac now. We have smaller class sizes, but there were 7 or 8 of us that still were playing basketball senior year. We've been together through elementary, went to the state tournament, lost the state championship, but like all those memories are great. Lots of Doug Johnson memories just from being in his class, all the stories about him, close with his family too. So, I mean, those are the things, just all kinds of stuff. Doug, I won't tell the stories of, you and rulers and pumpkins and all those things. So, that would be my memories growing up. And then being back here now, it's all the sporting events and stuff, like, because that's where the passion comes out in kids. Just like last night's girls basketball game, there are like 7 elementary kids sitting in the student section, and they were screaming for every made layup in warm-ups, like going nuts, just yeah, like 20 in a row. They were counting them, and I mean, nobody's forcing those kids to love their school. They're here and they love it, and they want to cheer girls on. And there's a bunch of boys at a girls basketball game doing it too. So I mean, it's those little things that make me know why, or remember why I want to be in a small community like this.
That's great.
So I will say thank you again for being there, and nothing. I think for today can be enough. Remember to follow us in the Instagram page, and thank you. See you in the next episode.
It's Foreigner Affair.